Hey folks. Hi guys, how you doing? Got some problems with the stream deck tonight. I'll tell you more about it in a minute. Alright. Should be a fun stream. The tech's just not working for me tonight. But it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good. Hello there and a very warm welcome to Love Audio. My name is Paul Webber. Hello and a very warm welcome. Yeah, so just wanted to say, see, I've just pressed the button and it's just not working. So I don't know what's happening with the stream deck, but every single button I am pressing does not work. It's got a little exclamation mark next to it. Hang on, I'll show you. Watch. Hang on. I'm pressing the framed one. Right, watch. That one, nothing. That one, nothing. That one, nothing. What on earth? And I've restarted it 3 times. That's why I was late coming in. So anyway, my name is Paul Webber. Let's see if I can get the overlays up and just do it. I'm going to have to do this manually by triggering stuff with my my mouse like that. Yeah. So you know who I am anyway, okay? And that was weird because it's supposed to be an overlay, not the whole thing. But anyway, there we go. So that should have happened like that instead. There you go. That's much better, isn't it? Yeah, Paul Webber here. What's Love Audio all about? Love Audio production is all about making it a fun, friendly, and hopefully informative environment in which to learn the basics of audio production from a beginner's standpoint. So if you are ready with that, and again, that's just not going to work because because the button isn't working. So I have to do this. And oh, you come on now, play the game. All right, there you go. Listen, I just Scream Deck. Yeah, you're not wrong there, Wit. My God, listen, if you're okay with it, I'm just going to dive underneath the desk and I'm going to unplug it and plug it back in and see if that works. All right. Give me 2 secs. Hang on. Here we go. Let's dive down here so you can kind of hear me moving stuff around a bit. Hang on. I'm going to go in here, right behind, because my computer's right underneath this desk here. Hang on. I can see the USB plug that it relates to. So let me just unplug that. Should have restarted the computer. Leave it 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Plug it back in. Fingers crossed. Oh, ouch! And the wind in the right direction. We should have. Nope, doesn't make a blind bit of difference. So that is definitely the one, isn't it? Okay, I've got a real problem with this, and I don't know why. That's going to cause me grief tonight. I know it is. He's gone into the cellar. Into the cellar. Yeah, it's just underneath the desk, and although that worked, although because I'm sending it in from the phone, so that's probably why that works completely separately and independently from the blimmin' computer. Anyway, hi. You're very welcome. Didn't use the lift. No, I didn't. I used the stairs. Much better for you. Keeps you fit, Rich. That's the idea. Okay, so we're going to be talking about reverbs tonight. So if you're into audio production, you'll know what a reverb is. If you don't know what it is and you haven't got a clue, then let's try and explain it for you. Reverb is the sound that you get when you kind of make it go like that. Can you hear that, guys? I think you probably can. 1. So there's this kind of long tail. It sounds like you're in a different room. So, you know, if I wanted to pretend that I was in a church, I could do that. I could extend the tail to make it sound like a bigger kind of cathedral, okay? Or I could shorten the tail to make it sound like it was in a very small room. I've got a couple of these on here. So this is kind of this is more like a springy kind of reverb, if you like. So it's like a You can hear that kind of boingy boingy? And that's created digitally. However, back in the day, they used to have these cabinets. And to create a spring reverb, it would literally be a metal spring really taut between two panels. And they would send a signal into it and then send a signal out of it to be recorded, okay? And that's how they used to do it. The same with a plate reverb, okay? So let's say, for instance, this is a plate reverb. This sounds like I'm in a bathroom, so I'm la-da-da, scrubbing my back, scrubbing my arms, doing a bit of washing and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, you can create different sized rooms using reverbs. And back in the day, a plate reverb, let me turn that off, it's quite distracting, isn't it? A plate reverb would be literally that. So it would be a metal plate inside a very long box, a tall box, in fact, with, again, a transducer at one end and a transducer at the other. They would send a signal through the box and through the plate and then record that sound as it was produced. Nowadays, of course, there are plugins and there are digital mixing desks, which you can just press a button and you get this kind of thing. Do that one. And this is different. This is not reverb. This is a delay. So you've got a stereo delay from a mono signal. So the mono signal goes into the digital audio realm, okay? And then depending on where you pan it left and right, you get this stereo reverb going, or stereo delay going on, okay? So that's slightly different to a reverb. Reverb will be like that, or like that. Slightly bigger room, and then it tails off, obviously. But you can adjust that, and we'll go through some of that in a moment or two. Whit Prophet says, yes, sir. Okay. I don't know what that was relating to, Whit, but let me turn it off. Sorry, I keep forgetting to turn it off. It's on the desk here itself. So I'm going to dive over to, and the pip won't work, so that's no good. Let me just go into desktop capture, and then go to there. I'm doing this manually by the mouse, by the way, because I know for a fact that this Stream Deck needs to be thrown out through the window. I'm sure I need to restart my computer, and that's what's causing the issue, but, you know, who knows. But anyway, it's really good to see you in tonight. Please do say hi. You asked if we could hear the sample. Ah, you could. All right, cool. Okay, you could hear that. Brilliant. Good. I'm really pleased about that. Excellent stuff. Okay, let's just refresh that. Do that. That should appear just down there, which it does. It's about the only thing that does work tonight. Apart from me, of course. And I'm on caffeine. Sorry, Christina, if you're watching. It's a caramel latte from my machine just across the studio here. Oh. Okay, so what I've done is, if I get rid of that, because you can see the stream and all that kind of stuff that's going on. So what I need to do is bring up this, which is my audio production, and I'll show you what I've put on the mix in a second or two. But first, I just wanted to get something into there so you could hear what we're adding to the track, okay? So, without further ado, let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track. Okay? Now, if I was to play that back for you, let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track. All right, so that's pretty basic. I'm just going to trim that up so it starts fairly soon. Let's take that off and then erase that first bit and then move that to there. Oops, too far down. And I'm going to add a marker, start and finish. Zoom that in and then go to there. Oops, hang on a second. Go back a bit, and I'm going to chop the end of that off. The reason I'm doing that is that I want the tail to go beyond the audio piece itself. Okay, so when we add this reverb in, there are two ways that you can do it. Okay, now the first way to do it, let me just go back to my camera a second. Hang on a sec. Where are we? Merge. There we go. So the two ways to do it. Firstly, I could drag the reverb and put it directly onto the track itself. Okay. But by far, the best way to do it and to give you most control over it is to add a bus, an audio bus, okay? Now, a bus is something that gets you from A to B. I get that, right? But when you're talking about audio, a bus is where you would put different effects that you can send a signal to and then have that go to the master. Instead of putting the reverb or whatever it is directly onto the track itself, you can have a bus whereby you can control the level that you're sending to the reverb bus, all right? And then have that go to the master instead. So let's demonstrate the second one of those two, which is the better of the two options, okay? What I could do, let me just, I guess I'm going to have to do this by mouse. There we go, okay. So what I could do is literally, if you can see this, I could literally drag that room reverb over and place it on the track itself, but I'm not going to do that. What I've already done on the mixer, okay, is I've dropped an open air reverb section into channel 1 and a room reverb into channel 2, okay? Now, what I can do with this, you see, is I can send the level into any one of those if I wanted to, okay? So currently, if I play it, let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track. Now you can see the levels moving there on that bus, the audio bus, if you will. Okay, bus 1, bus 2. So bus 1 relates to track 1, bus 2 relates to track 2. Okay. Now, in order to get any signal into it, we haven't done anything so far. Okay. So what we need to do is stop that from playing, which is fine. Excuse me. And then what we need to do is to go to the track itself. Let's just expand this a bit more so we can see what's going on. Okay, that's good. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do that. Okay, so sends. So on the sends itself, we should be able to right click. There we go. Okay, so we're looking at sending the signal from the microphone through to that particular audio bus, all right? Give me 2 seconds while I figure out how to do that. Sends, here we go. So, yeah, here we go. So what I want to do is, if you can see that there, hopefully you can. It's fairly small. Let me try and zoom into that a bit so you can see what's going on. Hang on a second. Because I know it's quite fairly tiny. So if I zoom into that bit there, here on the inserts, what you can see is if I do a drop down menu there, or sorry, I beg your pardon, a plus there. I know it's not, it's on the sends, I beg your pardon. Here we go. So this is the sends on the desk mic. So I'm going to send here, and I'm going to send it to bus 1, okay? That now gives you a volume control. And if I zoom that up a bit further, you'll see what I'm talking about. So this here is the signal I'm sending to bus 1, okay? And I can adjust that. And I'll show you what I mean here now. So if I play that again, let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track. Okay?
Play it again.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay. It's not coming up just yet. Give me 2 seconds.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay, let's just stop that from waving around because it's just really distracting. Hang on a second. Let's close that.
Okay, so on the let's record
shush
on the open air itself, which is bus 1, we don't have anything in there just yet. So we're going to edit it and we're going to bring up just a standard let's have a look. We've got loads to choose from. So we've got Atom Smasher, Beatbox, BB Slaps, Choir Hall, Cosmic Delta XL, Cosmic Delay XL, I don't know what that is, Crazy Phasey, Delay Space, Echo Verb, Egg Cups. You've got all sorts of things on here. Electronic Megaphone. Should we try that just for a giggle? So we put that in, okay? Now, when we play it... Ouch. That's very, very loud. So my apologies for that. 2 seconds. Let me just bring down the volume of that and we'll literally bring it up from scratch, okay? Okay, so let's start again.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
That's extremely loud. But you get the idea. So we're sending... There you go, hang on a second. Yeah, there you go. Sending that audio through to bus 1. Now let's just change that because that's an awful preset. So we don't want an electronic megaphone, thank you very much. Let's have something far more delicate than that. Apologies if you had a screeching in your ear. My sincere apologies. So let's go for let's have a look here. Heavy starburst. Wow. I have no idea what that means, but we'll play it anyway. So you can hear that's very kind of spacey sound effect. Do it again. So if you were looking to create some kind of space effect, that would be a great preset, okay? But we're going to go with something discrete verb 1, I think. That might be a bit better. Let's just try that.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
So that's got reverb on it, but it's also got a slight little delay on it as well, like a microphone delay, like that, kind of a bounce back, like a slap back delay on there as well, okay? So
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Hello to Ina from Denmark. We're just demonstrating different plugins and reverbs that you can get with this particular software, which of course is the Presonus Studio One 5 Pro. And there are tons and tons of different presets that you can get with this, okay? You could even have inverse room 4. Let's try that, just for a giggle.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
It's almost like a reverse reverb, if you will, okay? So there are tons of different things that you can choose from, of course, as I say. Ethereal. This is one of the presets. Let's let it load first. Blue circle of death, always worrying, but that means it's quite a big program.
Let's record something.
Can you hear that delay goes on and on and on? You know what I mean? So it's quite a long tail on that particular one. That's quite a weird one. I'll give you that. Liquid reverb. Liquid reverb? This is probably going to be kind of a warbly, bubbly type of sound, I would imagine. Wait, says nipping out for a caramel latte. Be right back. Hey, I've got one here, man. It's already here. Well, it's nearly gone, actually, to be fair. Make sure you come back, Whit. Make sure you come back. So, you know, there are tons of different... there's a reverse gate here. Let's try reverse herb. Reverse herb. So this is likely to be a reverse reverb going on the preset. Let's have a listen.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Yeah, kind of. Bit kind of shaky, isn't it? But you get the idea. Sweep reverb. Okay, let's try that. Oh no, let's try that. Okay, here we go.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay, that's actually not too bad. Sweep reverb. So we're going to leave that like it is. And then on this second one, I've got room reverb as the preset in there. So this is slightly different because you can then choose the size of room that you want the echo to have. So very simply, there's a drop-down menu. So if you wanted something to sound very, very grand, very kind of cathedral-like, click the preset there. And then what I want to do is, instead of us sending the details, the audio rather, to bus 1, I'm going to change that to bus 2. So give me 2 seconds. Let me just do that and click that instead. So this time,
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
And if that works.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay. That is not being sent to bus 2. So give me 2 seconds and find out why. Let's have a look here. What does that mean? Let's try that.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Ah, there we go. Right, got it. So you can adjust the volume that you're sending to bus 2. So that was obviously very, very low down. So I'm gonna totally mute bus 1 and just go with bus 2 currently. Here we go.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Let's try that again.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay. So can you tell that that's the cathedral type of room reverb that we've created? Very, very large indeed.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb. Let's record something into it.
But it's a little too much, do you know what I mean? So I want the vocal to come forward instead of just, having it kind of in the background there. So what I need to do is, let's right click that. Let's go to, let's have a look. Enable listen bus. Don't need that. And that should be fine. Let's try that. It's very, very long, isn't it? Very long indeed. Okay, so let's have a look here. I promise, says Wit. Good. Well, I hope you enjoy your caramel latte. Just come on back when you can, all right? Okay, so that was sending to bus 2, but it's not giving me the vocals that I want. Let's have a look here a second. Hang on, Mix FX. Console shape, I've no idea what that means. Let's leave that off. Inserts. Okay, let's play it again.
Let's record something into this
so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track. Okay, let's put it back on.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay. Wow. Hell of a long delay on that, which is fine. And that's, of course, the sort of thing we were waiting for, was that that cathedral thing. Now, if I put the cathedral room reverb onto the track itself, so let's just disable it a second from here, so you get the plain track playing. Let's record something into this. And then what I'm going to do is get the room reverb and literally drag it onto the track itself. So let's record something in. There's nothing there yet. Okay. Because that's not switched on. It is now.
Let's record something into this.
And because the signal is only mono, it's coming back to us as mono as well, okay? Now, room reverb, what we need is the... Let's go with church this time, okay? And then play.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
So that's the second way of doing it. I've added that straight into the track itself. So what it means is that anything that's playing on that track will go through the room reverb plugin without going through the audio bus that we created earlier on. But at least this time you can hear the audio track behind the reverb. Do you know what I mean? So you can actually hear my voice as well coming through. And we've just got that church background instead.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
And you hear that long tail at the end, of course. That happens after the audio stops on that top track there. So that's the end of it, okay? But then the reverb will go past that
Reverb to your audio track.
it won't cut off just because the audio has stopped, okay? It just carries on beyond that. So that's great for when you're doing vocals and singing and things like that, because you want that tail to last beyond the note that's sung itself, okay? So that's obviously why we do that. But that sounds pretty good. I'm going to go back to our inserts on this one, the room reverb, and I'm going to change the setting to that church setting because I do like that. That's better than the cathedral. And let's see if it behaves in the same way, okay? I'm going to take off the room reverb from track 1. I'm going to play it now.
To your audio track.
So it's just literally playing.
To your audio track.
It's not actually playing the audio itself. It's only playing the reverb that you can hear. Okay? Let's have a look at that. Why can't we do that?
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay. I'm going to drag down the level that I'm sending to bus 2, like that, and then play it. And then you can hardly hear the track, can you?
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
It's very strange. Let's try that. No, it's not going to work. Okay. So we need to send it signal.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay. So in this instance, it's better to have it switched on the track.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Like that. Okay. I can still control the volume of that bus itself because it's here.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Which is pretty cool. So what it basically means is that the signal you're sending to that bus 2 can be controlled here as well. Look, if you see that, the send level is here. So if I reduce that...
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay. If I turn it off completely and play that, I can't hear it at all. No, wait, I know why. Okay. Hang on. Why is it not playing?
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay. So let's play that again. Why can't I hear that? That's bizarre. That's interesting, isn't it? So even if, okay, so this is fine. This is interesting. So even if the plugin is directly on the track, it's still determined by the amount of level that I send it to bus 2, which is really, really interesting because everything on bus 2 is turned off. Well, that's kind of weird. That's obviously a behavioral thing. I don't know what's wrong with that.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Wow. Okay. Pretty cool. All right, so we've done some reverbs and things like that. So let's have a look here, just making sure I caught up with all the messages. Thank you very much. Yep, that's good. So if you had any questions about this so far, please do let me know in the comments and I'll do my best to kind of answer them for you. Like I say, this is audio for beginners. I'm a beginner myself, so I'm kind of learning along with you as well. So these are the way that we kind of drag them into the track itself. So the plugins can be dragged right onto the track itself. So this is track 1, for instance, where the room reverb is. Or you can send via an auxiliary bus and have that come up on either 1 or 2 there. So 1 relates to that, but I can also send it to bus 2, which is fine. And then I can change that to bus 1 if I wish, and take off the room reverb itself. Okay. Because I've muted it, haven't I? Like a fool, look, it's got the M on, so that's muted.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay, so I can adjust the volume that I'm not the volume, but the amount of audio that I'm sending to that particular bus. All right, we're now on bus 1, don't forget, which is a slightly different echo. And then you don't need very much, to be fair. If I dragged it right down, for instance, and then play.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
It's still sending an awful lot, and I've got it turned right down, and I wonder why. I'm not entirely sure why. Interesting. Okay, I wonder why. Let's just drag that right down. Hang on. Oh, my volume's gone, hasn't it? Hello, 22222. Hey, that's interesting too as well. Oh, yeah, don't forget, because of course my microphone is going through the channel on here, so I can adjust the volume of that on the software as well. How bizarre is that? I just suddenly realized that. Okay, fair enough.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Indeed.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Yes, but it appears we're sending it too much, even though the volume is right down. So if I turn the send off,
let's record something into this
still doing it,
so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
How do we turn it off? That's really strange.
So that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Except it's like giving us far too much, isn't it? That's the point. Very strange. Okay.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay. Mix and gain.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track. Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
There you go. So, so by turning the open air off, so actually turning the plug-in off is how I can control bringing that volume in again, okay? So
let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate
that's with it off.
The theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
There you go.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate
toggling on and off there, look.
The theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
And you can split these and then add stuff to it as well, okay? So, for instance, if I wanted to do that, drag new splitter from here. So if we do that.
Let's record something into this.
If we wanted to, for instance, add some modulation, for instance, so if we added a chorus on there, let's go really bizarre and add Vox stereo into this, right? This is gonna cause the computer to crash, no doubt. But
let's record something into there so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
So now, not only have you got the open air happening, you've got Vox stereo in this chain here. Okay. Now, if I want to edit that, I can go in here, of course, and that brings up the software. And if I give it some, this one here, for instance, which is the Dreamcoder Live that we demonstrated a while back. Have a listen to this.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay, that's very nice. So yeah, that's just one of the plugins that we've got on top of what we're already doing. So we can mess around with that until the cows come home. But yeah, you get the idea. Let's have a look here, Ovox, and let's go with some different presets. Can we go with that? Have a look. No, it's not opening any presets. That's really weird. Okay. Oh, here we go. It's down here. That's why. No wonder. Try that.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track. Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
So yeah, you can not only add different reverbs and stuff like that, but you can also add different plugins that you may have in your arsenal.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track. Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track. Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Nice.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Rich Vibes says on Mixcloud and Bay Vibes Radio, this is Saturday Night Live with Rich Vibes. Oh, are you dropping your lyrics into this for the next jingle, are you? Saturday Night Live? I thought you were on Sundays, mate. Might want to change that, unless you're thinking of doing Saturday Night Live, of course. Tom says, hi, joining late tonight, been playing with my own reverb. Good lad, you probably know more about it than I do, to be fair, Tom. So we should collaborate. Here we go, so look. You could try on Mixcloud and Bay Vibes Radio. This is Sunday Night Live with Rich Vibes. That's better. There you go. So, yeah, changing the night of your performance, which is quite strange. But, yeah, we were going back to this particular thing, and we've got, let's have a look here, going back to what we were bringing in before. So on this particular row, we've got the Ovox stereo. We're going to take that off, to be fair, and let's go with let's go here. Where's the chain? Okay, let's have a look at the FX chain. Console shaper. Whoa, what's that? That looks interesting.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your... Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Wow.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate...
Yeah, pass through. Okay.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
I have no idea what that is. You should take it out, though. It's just going to complicate matters no end. So we've got the open air happening, and then of course we can swap those around if we want and just put the Ovox on.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
That's a stereo Sonovox effect, which is produced by Waves Ovox Stereo. And we've added that into track 1, but we've added it into the bus. So we're sending signal to bus 1 from channel 1, which is where the voiceover is, okay? And then controlling that either by this volume control here, or by the level that we send to bus 1. Now, currently, as we know before...
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Like that.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Nice, and then we've added the room reverb back in, but actually when we've actually loaded it onto the track itself. Remember, we're not sending it via the.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb
Pretty cool.
Let's record something.
And then just the Ovox there as well. So we can turn that Ovox off.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay, so that's just literally the dry voiceover now, okay? I'm going to change that to bus 2.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb.
Okay, this is what I wanted to demonstrate earlier, but it wasn't working for us, but now it is. So, Daft Punk is back together. Yeah, only in this studio. Rich Five says, ha ha ha. Wit says he's back with the latte. Rich says I retracted that one. Well, it still ended up on the thing. So hard luck with that. All right, so yeah, what I was trying to demonstrate was the amount of level that we send to bus 2 can be controlled by this, and I'm sorry for it, but it is quite tiny on your screen. I do apologise. But yeah, so listen very carefully. If I turn that right down first, you just get the dry voice.
Let's record something into this
bring it in
so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay, so now it's behaving as it should do. So it's now bringing in the amount of volume that I want to send to bus 2, which is this one here. Okay, and that's got the room reverb on it. And if we go to the edit thing, you'll see that there. So this is the room reverb, and we've chosen church, if you remember. So I'll move that out of the way slightly. And then we can control it via this volume here. And this should control the amount of...
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate
Bring it up slowly.
The theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
That's about 50%, but even that's quite high. We can always bring the volume of the track itself down as well. Let's try that now.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track. Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
So that's good. You can control the volume of the effect itself via the controller of, via the volume control on the bus itself, or you can control the amount of level that you're sending to the bus via this one up here on channel 1, on this blue channel here, okay? So that's pretty cool.
Let's record something into this
so that's
so
zero.
that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
And because it's a church, you want it to sound nice and full and luscious and big, because of the space involved.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
And like I said to you before, let's go back to this and we'll show you the WAV file itself. Even though the WAV file finishes there,
audio track,
the reverb continues beyond that particular WAV file, so you still get the effect. It doesn't cut off like you think it would do with that particular audio, because actually the effect is on the track itself. Even though we're sending volume from it to a bus, you're still getting that overall effect for whatever you put through it. So if it was to record another lyric into here, for instance, so here's a second lyric that we could put on the end of that last one, and you'll see that the echo continues past that once we play it, right? So that's, here's a second lyric that we could put on the end of that last one, and you'll see that the echo continues past that once we play it. Do you see what I mean? So anything you've got on that track, wherever that finishes,
of adding reverb to your audio track.
Here's a second lyric that we could put on the end of that last one, and you'll see that the echo continues past that once we play it. And it goes on for about 5 to 8 seconds after the vocal finishes. And you can control the size of the room using the software that you've got as your plugin. So for instance, if I go to Room Reverb and go to Edit, we can choose the length of the room. So listen carefully.
Of adding reverb.
Let's just shrink the room down.
Of adding reverb to your audio track.
So we now sound like we're in a basement.
Of adding reverb to your audio track.
You see that?
of adding reverb to your audio track.
And you can choose the mix as well. So I've got it at about 80% of the mix. So you could have completely wet.
Of adding reverb to your audio track.
And then dry. So
Of adding reverb to your audio track.
and you can choose the width as well, the width of the room and the height. So if we go higher.
Of adding reverb to your audio track.
And the size of the room again.
Of adding reverb to your audio track. You know, here's a second lyric that we can...
That's now in a very large room, isn't it? So the width, we can widen the room as well. Shrink the room down.
Of adding reverb to your audio track.
And you've got some presets here as well. So we go small room.
Of adding reverb to your audio track. Of adding reverb.
Medium hall.
Of adding reverb to your audio track.
Large hall.
Of adding reverb to your audio track. You know, here's a second lyric that we can put on the end of that last one, and you'll see that the echo continues past that once we play it.
Okay, nice. So you can also change the character of the room itself. So population. So in other words, we've not got very many people in the room, but if you had a large room with lots of people in it, you can increase the population of the room.
Of adding reverb.
Which, the more people you add into a room, the more it absorbs the sound that's bouncing around that room, okay? So let's increase the population of people.
Of adding reverb.
And a reflexivity? I don't even know if that's the right word, but it's...
Of adding reverb to your audio track. You know, here's a second lyric that we could put on the end of that last one, and you'll see that the echo can...
Geometry, we've got distance, asymmetry, and plane. So I don't know what these do, but we'll try them.
Of adding reverb to your audio track. You know, here's a second lyric that we could put on the end of that last one, and you'll see that the echo continues past that once we play it.
No idea what that does. Yeah, and the room itself shows where the listener is in the room. So this green line, I don't know if you can see that, it's very tiny on your screen. I apologise if it's off the screen as well. Let me just go to my desktop capture without me being in it, and you should be able to see it. So it's got a green line where the person is stood in that particular room. Do you see that?
Of adding reverb to your audio track. You know, here's a second lyric that we could put on the end of that last one, and you'll see that the echo continues past that once we play it. Of adding reverb to your audio track. You know, of adding reverb to your audio track. Of adding reverb to your audio track. You know, here's a second lyric that we could put on the end of that last one, and you'll see that the echo continues. Of adding reverb to your audio track. Of adding reverb to your audio track. You know, here's a second lyric that we could put on the end of that last one, and you'll see that the echo continues past that once we play it. So you've got infinite control really over the sort of things that you can bring in as regards a reverb. So what I encourage you to do is, if you've got a DAW that you're currently using, have a look for the built-in plugins that you've got. Drag a room reverb into it and see what kind of things you can come up with, because it's almost limitless as regards to the sound that you can create using these things. Tom says, oh my God, how have I not understood this before? I always put reverb and other effects straight onto the track. No, I mean, I used to do the same thing, Tom, but what I've learned recently from Joe Gilder from Home Studio Corner, if you take a look at his YouTube videos, he's now part of Presonus that own this software, and he's also part of Presonus that own the Studiolive 32SC and does video tutorials for them, but he has his own channel called Home Studio Corner, and if you take a look at that, you'll know that Joe is a firm believer of having an effects bus next to the track that he's working on, okay? And the reason he does that is that he has far more control over what he sends to that bus rather than just sticking it onto the track, which is what I used to do as well. So it's worth just looking at your DAW, and hopefully you've got the option there to create it could be an FX bus, it could be what's called an aux bus. So you can still send stuff to an aux bus.
This just happens to be an effects bus that you can create just by right-clicking and adding an effects bus next to the track concerned, okay? And if you add multiple, what he does, he has when he's doing a template for a song, he has three channels that he uses as buses, and he puts different effects on those and just leaves them there. They're just there all the time. Every template he opens and every song he does, they're just there as a template. And all he does then is just chooses from the drop-down menu which one he wants to send. He could send a load of drums to one particular effects bus, for instance, or he could send a load of vocals, maybe 5 tracks of harmonized vocals to an effects bus with a nice reverb tail on it and stuff like that. And if you send it delicately to that reverb bus, you end up producing just a spectacular effect, but not overpowering the audio concern, and you're not then reducing the headroom. What he also taught me on his videos is that you should put an EQ right after the reverb, and I'll show you why. Let's just close. Let me see if I can close that. Hang on a second. Yeah, so we'd leave that like it is. Hang on a second. Just play the video.
Let's record something into this.
So that's got some reverb on it. It's not a very big room. Let's make it a little bigger.
Let's record something into this.
Yeah, that's cool. And he said what you need to do is to add EQ. Okay. Let's go with effects. Scroll up. Let's put some EQ in here. So we'll go to yeah, so Pro EQ, I reckon, or let's have a look, external pipeline, what that is. Mixing. Yeah, let's stick some Pro EQ on the channel that I've got that reverb on, okay, which is bus 2, but after the reverb, okay? And he says what you need to do is to roll off the bottom end. Okay, so anything below 200 hertz, just get rid of it. Okay, so you want a low cut shelf. So play it again.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Yeah, because the reverb itself creates a lot of low noise at the bottom end. So what you want to do is to roll off a lot of that less than 200 hertz where there's going to be a lot of rumble and a lot of frequency, because that will then give you more headroom in your overall mix.
Let's record something into this so that we can...
So let's bypass that.
Let's record something into this so that we can...
Put it on.
Let's record something into this so that we can demonstrate the theory of adding reverb to your audio track.
Okay.
You know, here's a second lyric that we could put on the end of that last one, and you'll see that the echo continues past that once we play it.
There's a lot of rumble going on that particular effect. So when you roll off the bottom end of the 200 hertz and below, you get rid of all that kind of rumbling, which is really cool. Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds a lot cleaner and brighter that way. Yeah, absolutely. And that's what he does to create the headroom later on for the more instruments that you add. It's going to add to that overall headroom, and you're going to lose it and lose it and lose it. So losing a lot of the bottom end of stuff, including the reverb, means that you've got more headroom for various things like instruments and vocals and things like that. So, you know, it's well worth looking at his channel, Joe Gilder, and it's from Home Studio Corner. Failing that, go on to the Presonus Studio One YouTube channel, and you'll find lots of excellent tutorials on there that will give you far more in-depth demonstrations than I can do right here. So that's pretty much it. I certainly hope you've enjoyed tonight's little look at reverb itself. I'm going to go there instead. Give myself a little bit of a frame. That's right. Because my Stream Deck isn't working. It's got little exclamation marks next to all of the buttons, and I think it's because I need to restart my computer, which I'll do right after the stream. Now, fingers crossed, I did set up a jingle of the week. The jingle of the week thing won't play, so that's fine. I don't need to do that. But I did set up one of my jingles. It may or may not play, so fingers crossed, and the wind in the right direction. This should play. There you go. That's today's jingle of the week. I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you very much indeed for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week. You see, I can't even play my outro because it just won't work. Hang on. I've got to find it first. Intro and outro. Where is it? Let's put it there. Restart that. And I should be able to say cheerio. Thanks for joining me. By the way, subscribe if you can. Click the bell icon. That'll let you know when I'm going live next, which is generally on a Monday night at 8 p.m. But sometimes I do upload daft ironing stuff. If I've got a pile of ironing to do, I just sit here and do some ironing, or stand here and do some ironing, and we chat in between. So join me if you can. Very soon on this channel, I hope to have a guest with me. He lives in this county, and he is a drum technician, a guitar maker. He's played with some of the biggest bands on the planet, and I will hopefully give you more information as and when we hook that meeting up, and he'll come on the stream and tell us about what he's up to, okay? So that's for a future episode. Watch this space. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you click the bell icon. That'll let you know when I go live next, all right? Take care. Stay safe. Speak soon. Bye for now. It worked.